Hello Monsters, this is your MONSTERIDER Shiva. So this is a bit of a long form video that I wanted to make, explaining to you what the whole MONSTERIDER program is for or is about, especially if you're a tennis player and you have an objective to achieve. All this is coming from like more than 2 decades of experience in the professional circuit and still pursuing it, basically. You can see that tennis is way more accessible for everyone with regards to access to courts or rackets and everything. You can even see a lot of matches on the TV as well. So, there's just, in regards to like accessibility, if you compare to the 90s or the 2000s and stuff, it's way more accessible right now to the game. And also you see a lot of people picking up the rackets, compared to, like I said, 90s or 2000, because of the technologies have changed with rackets. It's not about like heavier rackets, it's about more playability. You have rackets that's easier to access or easier to use, and you didn't have to like spend too long a time to get adapted towards the racket and stuff, or build your strength to use these rackets basically. No, you can just take the racket and it's playable. People can just pick up the racket and now just play. What I see now is a lot of people are actually lost in how to achieve their objective, because there's just too much information. There's just too much of everything. Most of the coaches, I'm sorry to say, are quite a disappointment. Most of the academy structures are quite a disappointment because they are not really producing as many players or as many successful stories as many players who go and access to these academies, So then I'm like, okay, I'll make those shorts in another video and explain to you the problem that is there in the whole tennis structure right now with regards to building up a player or helping somebody or accompanying somebody to achieve their objective. I'll just dive right into what my program is about. This is the first step. So we will have a call. I would like to know your history with the game. When did you pick up the racket? What are the key moments in your tennis life that really attached you quite a bit to the game? Hey, we'll even discuss some of your best matches, and if you want, you can also tell me about your worst matches. Hey, I'm not here to judge or criticize. I just want to know your story. That's it. Because all of us have different stories to tell. Our paths are different, so the story behind it is completely different. Our history behind this is completely different. So I just want to know about it, because that way I will be able to put the structure properly for you. Then there will be the question of understanding your natural game style. If you've seen my previous reels, you would have seen I've talked about the game of least resistance. So what I mean by the game of least resistance is we're going to try to find your natural game style. The game style that you just have, basically. You don't make a lot of effort executing it. There are about 6 to 7 profiles, basically. I'll talk about that in another reel, but and it's pretty precise because we are building a clarity about your game over here. It's about understanding what that game style is and then developing on top of it. I'll also post a picture here. So this is kind of like a table. I've kind of remodified it from things I had followed and I still keep on following, but now I've remodified it for tennis specific. There are certain tasks every day that we have to follow, and you as a player have to follow. They're not gonna require enormous amount of time, because it's about the everyday increments that we're attacking on. You start small, but you build. You build the volumes for more capacity at the end of it. And this is the table that will help you throughout your whole tennis life, to help you understand your progress, to help you understand why something is not working, why am I having this block, because you have a visual of your progress chart, basically, through this table. Because hey, if you're doing these tasks regularly and you're doing it properly, you have no reason to not having improved on your game or on your performances, And if you feel like, okay, you're not improving on something, you feel like you're blocked somewhere, this table will help you to realize, oh, okay, something's not right over here. Okay, something's not right over here. That's why this table is ultimately important for this program. So you'll see basically you start with mobilization. This is 5 minutes routine you would do every morning, every day. You start with 5 minutes. Like I said, you build the capacity on increments for the longer duration. Mobilization is basically waking your body up. That's it. It's not mobility, but mobility is completely a different definition. But mobilization is about waking the body up. I will show you certain mobilization workouts. I'll send you certain mobilization workouts, and these are just things you have to follow every day. And this is just doing it every day for just. We will start with the small amount, is the 5 minutes. That's it. With the practice of mobilization, we'll also look into the kind of fitness you would need, because every profile has a different kind of fitness requirement behind it. For example, if you're, say, somebody who's aggressive, you would need to build a lot of strength, a lot of power, because you are going to be somebody who's aggressive. Say you're an aggressive tactician, then your movements are not going to be sideways, they're going to be all around, and it's going to be highly explosive. So we need to build the strength and power, and then we look into the explosiveness. Say, for example, if you're somebody who's a lot towards a baseline game, more aggressive baseline, or more like a returner kind of game style, then you would need more cardio specific workouts. So there's a lot of these kinds of different specific workouts necessary for that particular natural game, and we're going to be looking into this. But at the end of the day, the ratio should be 30%, 70%. Fitness is 30%, but everything else is on the court. So that's why tennis is 70%. If you had the opportunity to go see the practices of any pros, they will never spend more than 1 hour on fitness. They'll spend 5 hours on the court because they're developing everything on the court. There's nothing about 1 hour, 1 or 1.5 hours in the morning and then 1.5 hours in the afternoon. No, nothing like that. 1 hour of fitness, but it's good fitness, but that's 30% of their practice. The rest 70% is the 4 hours, 5 hours they spend on the court. They work on specific thing on the court so as to develop their natural game style even more. And that's another thing we're going to be looking at. Then comes the wall practice, and this is absolutely vital. This is kind of taking the inspiration from the old ways of training, because in the old ways, the rackets were heavy. It used to be like small head size, and it used to take a long time for the players to develop their hand or develop their coordination or just develop everything with the racket. And one thing that they used to always do was practice hours on end on the wall, and which I feel is lost today. I feel indulging in our discovery is lost today. We need to spend time with ourselves in front of the wall as tennis players. You have no idea the amount of discovery that you will have, or you will just face when playing against the wall. Of course, it will be also specific. I will give you certain exercises to follow depending on that natural game style that we are talking about, that we have found or we have understood about you as a player. Okay, and this is something you follow or you do right before you step on the court. The longer you spend your time on the wall, the better. And walls are everywhere, And something about the wall is like, okay, if you don't have a practice partner, just go against the wall. That's what I keep on doing. Some days I don't have a practice partner, but I maintain certain practices by myself. So the wall practice is, like I said, important. And I will also add certain practices that you can do regardless of having a practice partner or no. And I guarantee you would actually feel like you just played a whole grueling match, 3-setter match. But the best part is it's you and just by yourself, how you practiced it. With the wall practices and the court exercises that I would give you later on, you have to be at the maximum intensity. Because in tennis, when you're practicing tennis, if you're not at the maximum intensity, you're not going to learn. The body's not going to adapt, or the body's not going to learn. It's okay if you're feeling tired. That's all right. Hey, today you're able to hit 4 balls consistently at that max intensity against the wall. That's okay. Keep at it. You will find that, wow, in a few days I've increased to 10 balls. In a few days I've increased to 15, 20, and so on and so forth. You know what's happening? The body is gaining that education to learn that endurance. And what better way to have than the wall, or it's just about, having that voluminous practice that I keep on talking about. And the third task is something that has made a lot of change in my life. Something that has really, really, helped me improve a lot, especially as a tennis player, and especially building a lot more clarity in my pursuit. The practice of manifestation and visualization. It's powerful. It is powerful and it is quite helpful, but you have to be regular doing it. You just have to lie down, close your eyes. I'll send you some videos. These are guided visualization and manifestation practices, because the person will help you guide through the whole meditation. What you have to just do is, before the practice starts, take a page, write down your ultimate goal as a tennis player, even your life. I don't care. This is not a place for limited beliefs. I want you to go wild on your beliefs and on what goals you want to achieve. Write it down on the left side of the page. Just on the right side, write down the good feelings and emotions that you connect with them. The feelings that empower you, the feelings that energize you when you think of these goals. Think of that and write that on the right side of it. It could be like you have confidence, you feel empowered, you feel proud, you feel joy, you feel love, you feel well connected, aligned, Write it all down on the right. The left, like I said, your ultimate goal. You could just write down. You want to be a Grand Slam winner, write it down. You want to be, say in a year, you want to reach top 500, top 1000, write it down. No limited beliefs. I don't really care. My aim is that I want to give you the structure through which you're independent in building your path to your goal. That's it. This is the tools I'm giving. Of course, the beginning ways I will be there to accompany you and guide you completely. In the 3 months, my aim over here is to make you independent so that you don't feel, damn, I need this kind of training, I need that kind of training, I need this coach, that coach, blah, blah, blah. No. You have this and you will build your goal as an ultimate tennis player using this. And anybody who associates with you in this journey to achieve your goals has to abide by those things that we have formed for you. Because at the end of the 3 months course, my aim is that I want to make you quite independent. Because at the end of the day, on that court, when we are playing a match, there is no coach for us. There is nobody for us. And we have to face a long hour making ourselves or finding ourselves or the way to win that match. That's what I'm trying to reinforce, or that's what I'm trying to help you establish. Reinforcing that independence, basically. Regardless of where you are on this earth, which tournament, whatnot, you have a practice. This is your practice. That's it. That's all that matters. You're not handicapped because you don't have a coach or this and that, blah, blah, blah. You don't feel lost or no. We are trying to take away all the anxious thoughts and build that particular practice for you. In the fourth bottom, you would see, this is highly important. Now, this is really, really important. After you finished all these tasks, at the end of the day, what was your level of intention on your practice, basically? Especially your tennis practice. Now, for me, I keep my barometer as that I don't want to go below 7 out of 10. What I mean by 7 out of 10 is, if I'm making a mistake, if I'm feeling lost, I'm not taking too much of the time to get back on track or to become better, or to correct my mistakes, or find what is going wrong and then make the right changes. That's the gap. And the barometer is what will help you to understand, okay, how short is the gap? Then 7 out of 10 is basically, okay, it doesn't take too long for me, it's a decent level that we are maintaining. When I go to 8, that means the gap is shorter and I'm able to produce even more. 9, way shorter, I'm able to produce even more. I'm playing at a really high intense level as well. And I'm able to continue that for a long period. Let's not get into 10 out of 10 because you're in another dimension already. So this is the barometer, but we have to be honest about this barometer. If it's 6 on that day, let it be 6. It's okay. If it's 5, 4, 3, it's okay. If it's 1 out of 10, it's okay. If it's 0 out of 10, I don't care. It's okay. Because if we are not honest about this barometer, we would not understand the improvements or the progress we've made. So that's why this whole table is really important to understand how we are progressing. Then we will have a video call once a week, which will be from 1 hour to 1.5 hours. But before the video call, we're going to attack something else. And this is the imposter syndrome. A lot of tennis players, even the pros, cannot see themselves play. Me as well. It's a cringe. And you know the reason why? It's because what we are thinking, how we look as we play, and what we feel as we play, and what we see in reality in front of us, there's a wide gap. We cannot really accept that player, because what we're thinking and what we're feeling is completely different from what we're seeing. So the videos will help eliminate that imposter syndrome, and that gap is what we're trying to minimize. So every time you see your video, you don't start criticizing yourself. You don't start cringing about yourself. You then start understanding what's going good and what's going wrong. You're just looking at yourself as for your development as a player at the end of the day. But it's important. I would need 30-minute video of you playing throughout the week. Start 15 minutes at the beginning of the week, and maybe 10-15 minutes just towards the end of the week before our call. This way we can understand how your week started as a player, and then how it is at the end of the week, basically. And we will go through the whole video together. I will ask you how you felt for those practices. I will ask you, are you able to see what change that you would like to see or whatnot? This is, like I said, it is personal. Tennis is a really personal game. Like I've mentioned in my previous reels, there are certain fundamentals, but how that fundamentals apply to you is on us as players to discover. That way is what we have to form. That path is what we have to construct. Few fundamental basics, but the way it applies to us is completely different. So that's how we're going to develop, and that's how we're going to understand. And through attacking the imposter syndrome, we are actually going to now progress even more of your ultimate goal as a tennis player. This is the MONSTERIDER Program for 3 months. Anybody who's curious about it. So, you know what to do. Contact me if you're curious. Let's find the right way. Let's reinforce you to develop yourself in the longer run. I'm here to accompany you. I'm here to guide you. At the same time, I'm a professional tennis player. I go play my tournaments as well. And hey, I would love it at the end of the 3 months if you join me and play the tournaments with me. Because at the end, you formed your goal, you formed your path, you've reinforced your path. Great. How much better would it be if you're accompanying each other on the tour or on the tournaments, So that's how I look at it. So the 3 months program is about building that way for you. And it's completely going to be different. There is no hard and fast rules. There is no, it's like this, it's like that. No. There are certain basic things to follow, but definitely it will be adapted to the life you have, to your surroundings. Nothing's going to be hard and fast. It's going to be very well adapted. Let's accept the chaos of life and then adapt ourselves accordingly to achieve our goals. Let's not deny the chaos. Let's not deny whatever is around us. Well, we have what we have around us. Okay, great. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to follow my goals. That doesn't mean I'm not going to follow my objectives. So it's a holistic program at the end of the day. We're looking at everything, I'm just your friend here who wishes the best for you on this path of this amazing game. So we're going to be looking at everything as much as we can and build the right practice for you. Let's become the MONSTERIDER, and I'm here for that.